Welcome back to Toffee Booze, your source for all things Everton. I'm Ollie Hayes, and today I'm bringing the match preview for Everton versus Manchester United at Goodison Park at 12:30 on Saturday. So let's get straight into it. Obviously, going to be a tough game against Manchester United. They seem to have a pretty good record at Goodison Park, but we'll get into that later in the video. But we'll start with Manchester United. We'll start with the visitors. And United are coming into this one in very poor form in the league. They lost again last weekend to Tottenham Hotspur away from home. Ruben Amorim's come in and they've not really won many games at all, especially in the league. I think they've only won 4 games since she actually joined the club. One of them being against us at Old Trafford in that 4-0 defeat for us. But again, Amorim seems to be struggling to implement his system for Manchester United. I think this three at the back that he's adamant on playing, I think they just don't have the personnel to do it. So again, I feel like Manchester United are kind of at this situation where they're at breaking point with another manager, and if results don't pick up for them, I think again another change of manager is on the cards. But if we're looking more at this system that Amorim's trying to play, I think David Moyes is perfectly placed to be able to shut this system down. If you look at the Tottenham Hotspur system, for example, I think it's very similar to that than in what Ange Postecoglou plays with Tottenham Hotspur. So again, I think Moyes has shown in his time back at Everton that he can shut these systems down. You look at Crystal Palace as well last weekend. We dealt with their three at the back very, very well. So again, it presents a really good opportunity for us on Saturday to get a result. And we have to acknowledge that Manchester United, they do still have dangerous personnel coming into this game. They do have a few injuries, like Amad Diallo, he's out for the season. Kobbie Mainoo's out for a lengthy period of time. And Lisandro Martinez is also out for a lengthy period of time. So that's 3 players that definitely won't feature against us on Saturday. But that definitely helps in our favour. But they do still have dangerous personnel that can hurt us. You look at the likes of Bruno Fernandes, on his day, if the ball's at his feet, he is a top player. Whether he's committed to the Manchester United project under Amorim at the moment, that remains to be seen. But there's no doubt in my mind that he does have talent and he can hurt us. And then you look at the likes of Garnacho as well. We know what he can do and what he's done at Goodison Park at that Gladys Street end. That Puskas-worthy goal that he scored against us in our last home game against Manchester United says it all, really. But also Rasmus Højlund, Joshua Zirkzee, they're players that have kind of struggled for form this season, but there's no doubt that they are decent players. They can score goals if given the opportunity, so they can definitely punish us. But if we focus away from Manchester United now and focus on the important team, and it's Everton, let's look at Everton now. We're coming into this one in great form. Contrary to Manchester United, we've got 4 wins and 1 draw in our last 5 in the league. Obviously, coming off the back of a great away win at Crystal Palace last weekend, a really hard-fought victory against Crystal Palace, which I thought was really good to see us coming on the right end of that result. But as we know, we'll still be without Iliman Ndiaye. He's suffered medial ligament damage in his knee, so again, we're going to be without him. So that's going to be a big blow. He's great going forward, and he's so instrumental in us creating chances. But I felt last weekend, as I said before, with the Crystal Palace victory, I felt like we dealt with that very well. There was chances coming from other areas of the pitch, which we've not seen in so long from an Everton team. And you look at the likes of Carlos Alcaraz coming into the team. I think he was absolutely fantastic. I think he was so good creating chances. Obviously, a goal and an assist in his first start for Everton. What more can you ask from the lad? But there's one man we do have to talk about, and probably our biggest danger man at the moment. And obviously, with the whole striker injury crisis, it was looking quite bleak about 3-4 weeks ago in terms of our striking options. But we have to talk about Beto. What a player he's becoming under David Moyes. He looks completely reborn. Beto does. Scored in his last game. I think he scored in his last 3 now. The last player to actually do that for Everton was Richarlison in March 2021. So it shows just how few and far between top strikers and top attacking players have been for Everton over the years. If it's almost 4 years since a player has actually scored three games in a row. But he'll definitely be looking to make it 4. I think he's definitely our danger man and one definitely to pinpoint for us. But moving away from both teams now and looking at the head-to-head of the 2 teams, we currently sit 14th in the league, a place and a point above Manchester United, who sit in 15th. I don't think anyone would have been expecting us to be able to do that, especially if you're looking at the turn of the year, but also at the start of the season as well. I don't think anyone would have expected Everton to be above Manchester United at the end of February, but that's the way the cookies crumbled. That's where we are in the league at the moment. And if we're looking at the head-to-head in terms of Everton versus Manchester United, they've actually beaten us in our last 5 league games against Manchester United. So it doesn't really bode well. It doesn't have great viewing for us Evertonians. We haven't actually scored in 4 of those 5. So again, we'll be looking to right the wrongs this weekend. I think we are well poised to do it. I think there's no better opportunity to play Manchester United. But also, if you're looking at their performances at Goodison, as I mentioned earlier, the Alejandro Garnacho goal, that was part of a 3-0 victory for Manchester United last season. I think that was in the wake of the whole points deduction thing. It was a very angry Goodison that evening, and I think that Garnacho goal just completely took the wind out of our sails. So again, I think we're well poised to right those wrongs, and in a game where I think Manchester United are in such poor form and we're on very good form. I think a lot of the bookies will and a lot of the neutrals will be looking at Everton maybe as being the favourites into this game. But as I said before, United won their last two at Goodison, a 2-1 win where I think it was a brace for Cristiano Ronaldo, and obviously the 3-0 win last season. So again, a tough game. We always seem to play Manchester United into form, in my opinion. It always seems to be one of those games where a Manchester United manager, for example, is on the edge of losing his job, and we're playing well, and then the rest. You know what happens. In my head, the Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer one in 2020, where we were playing really well. I think we were top of the league going into that game, and Ollie Gunnar Solskjaer had Manchester United floundering in mid-table in October in 2020, and during lockdown with no fans in, I think it was Edinson Cavani who made it a 3-1 win for Manchester United. I think Bernard scored that day for us. So again, as I said before, I feel like it's always the story with Everton, Manchester United. If we're playing well and they're not, we always seem to play them into form. But fingers crossed that won't happen this weekend. Obviously, there's a big opportunity for us to look up the league rather than over our shoulder. And again, I'm just praying that we can put in a decent performance against Manchester United and finally get one over them. If you're comparing it to our last 5 against them in the league, finally get one over and get a victory. But we'll go into a prediction now, and I think I'm going to have to be positive with this one. Whenever I seem to be slightly conservative or negative on a prediction, it always comes back to bite me. So I'm going to be positive with this one and go with 2-0 Everton. I think Beto and Jesper Lindstrom will be on the score sheet. I'm going to back him to get his first goal in an Everton shirt. It's coming. It's so close. I think all the squad are willing him on as well. You look at the comments from like Illiman and Jai, for example, in his Instagram comments. They do seem to be like a really together group and really bonding as a group. So fingers crossed he can get that first goal. I'm backing him to do so. And also I'm thinking Beto is going to keep that run going and get on the score sheet in a 2-0 victory. But let me know all your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your predictions for the game. Obviously, as I said before, it's going to be a tough game against Manchester United. Yet they are floundering in the league. They're not playing very well. But when Manchester United come to Goodison, they always seem to raise their game a little bit. So fingers crossed we can weather that storm and get a positive result and potentially a victory on Saturday against Manchester United. But that is all from me today. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments going up into the game. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll speak to you soon.